it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question we got in, and really that is the topic of love bombing. And really when love bombing is not love. A lot of viewers who have experienced a relationship with a narcissist or a psychopath are really dumbfounded. They're astounded that after such a euphoric, blissful, harmonious relationship in the beginning of a relationship with a narcissist, that there was so much love we had. Things were so good. We fit together like a glove. It was a perfect fit. We were a perfect match. It seemed like the answer to my prayers. Everything was going along so blissfully, so wonderfully. We got along. The chemistry was magical. We seemed to have so much fun. All these different experiences that often typify and describe the love bombing phase. And what I would like to zoom in and focus in and explore with you is really when the effect that love bombing is not love. It is essentially a phase in a narcissistic relationship which is designed to get you hooked, which is designed to get your support in place, the supply in place for them and that relationship. And when we talk about getting people hooked, especially with a psychopathic individual, oftentimes, a psychopath as well as a narcissist, they tend to be very parasitic in nature, which means their self-concept is defined by how many people are able to support them, do things for them, give them the acknowledgement, the validation that they are looking for. So their locus of control, how they define and feel about themselves, is determined by who they surround themselves with. So if, it's just, I use kind of an example of like a musician with groupies. A musician will define themselves according to the support that they receive. A narcissist is very much the same way. They want to surround themselves with people who make them look good. It's very much from an outside in sort of relationship. And a psychopath the same way. They are targeting and determining who they will surround themselves based on who will give them what they're looking for, whether it is the appearance of normalcy, whether it's sex, whether it's money, whether it's a home-cooked meal, someone to wash their clothes, someone to drive them to work, someone to pay their bills, someone for them to spend their weekends with. The narcissist and the psychopath, again, it's the spectrum that we see, in this personality disorder, where basically they will ingratiate people in the beginning of their relationship in order to get them hooked. And the love bombing does not have anything to do with love. It doesn't have anything to do with unconditional psychological reciprocity, where it's based on you, falling truly in love with each other and enjoying each other's company and planning a future together, based on common experiences, common desires, common interests, common interactional support. It's not based on that. When you look at people who exemplify real love, or people who you might look up to in life, people who you admire, whether it's a religious figure, an athlete, some sort of sports icon, music icon, someone who you really feel is a person of integrity and honesty, or someone who has a relationship that you look up to and admire and you feel is based on love. Look at really the qualities that are there. It is oftentimes unconditional in nature. In other words, it truly is in sickness and in health. It is there when, the person, still adores you even when your hair is messy, when you're sick throwing up due to the flu, whether you have a job or not. They're there to understand and support you. They don't abandon you when the going gets tough. They don't ridicule you for looking messy, when you've just woken up. They don't point fun at you the way that you're dressed. These are all the sort of things that you see with a narcissist or a psychopath. In the relationship with a narcissist, oftentimes, I encounter people who I've worked with who, basically their spouses left them when the economy changed, when the job was no longer there, when the money was no longer there. I mean, they just basically left. So the relationship was based on certain conditions, i.e. bringing home a certain salary, a certain lifestyle. They weren't in love with that person. They were in love with their money, or whatever it is that that person had promised. So, and of course, with all relationships, there is that, we have to be able to make it together. We have to be able to, we have to be able to live. We have to be able to support our bills. We have to be able to come together and arrive at solutions together. But it's not really about, abandoning you or leading a double life, where they're lying, living a lie where, they're, they have a second and third life that you never even know about until you expose them. And, you've turned a blind eye. Maybe you're living in denial and you didn't want to see it, but you're seeing it now. You're seeing that this person is hiding alcohol in the garage, that they're hiding pornography, or they're going out and prostituting, on their business trips, or, they're going to strip clubs, or they're having internet romances or relationships at their office. Whatever it is that they're doing that, you had maybe enabled or that you were not paying attention to, it's, because you didn't want to. Basically, it's time to stop the denial. It's time to stop, living like an ostrich with your head in the sand and saying, okay, this is what is going on. I am brave enough to admit it. I do have the self-esteem enough to admit it and to know that I deserve better, and that I, no longer am really fitting in this relationship. The love bombing, where it seemed to be like the perfect fit, fit like a glove, was so comfortable. Maybe that is not the reality of the relationship, and really reality is what you want to count on. Reality is going to give you the validation that you need, and really sort of give you the honesty that you need to have as a foundation for moving forward, and come to the understanding that the devaluation and the discard is only meant to, basically, keep you in a shambles, keep you in a rubble. And, basically it becomes difficult to emerge from there. It's a very lone, very isolating situation. So understand that oftentimes the phase in the relationship with a narcissist or a psychopath, which is termed love bombing, has nothing to do with love at all. It is done with a way, especially in the psychopath, is a way to groom and train their prey, as in the case of the psychopath, to be addicted or hooked or really kind of sucked in to the needs of the psychopath, to the narcissistic needs of the narcissist. And it does not have anything to do with you getting to know you, understanding your needs, desiring to make you happy or do things and share a future together. It has everything to do with you providing something that the narcissist or psychopath needs, and something really that they really don't have in essence, or the ability to give you like in return. And namely, that is love, respect, honesty, and empathy. The ability to understand where you're coming from and listen, and then work together with things moving forward in your life for a happy life. It's peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.